Hi, my name is James, and this is my time.
Hello and welcome to another episode of My Time. I'm here with James today. How are you doing today, James?
I'm doing great, Danny.
Welcome to the show.
Good to see you.
Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a good time. We've got a few things to talk about, right?
Just a few.
A few things to go over. We're gonna try to get through them all, and we'll get started right away.
Sure.
I'm going to ask you 3 questions. They're basic questions. Everybody gets asked these questions. You know what they are. You'll ask me 3 questions, some things you've thought of, very interesting things. I think we're going to have a good time. But let's get right started. James, what do you do, first of all?
What do I do? I'm employed as a lawyer.
Cool.
I work specifically in family law, mostly divorces and separations.
Interesting. I understand you were recently married.
I was.
Congratulations.
A couple months ago. Thank you very much.
Has your work, considering it's pertaining to divorce and separation, changed your views on marriage? Or, manipulated them in any way, or made you think differently about something? I know this might be a tough question so early in marriage, but what do you think?
I wouldn't say change so much. It does make you look at your relationship and think, well, I'm very thankful that I have someone that treats me the way they do.
Sure.
Because especially some of the cases that I come across, the way people are behaving with each other, it's just awful.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet when they come to that circumstance, they're not really happy with each other at any point in time.
Oh yeah. It makes you wonder. Well, why did they get married in the first place? What got them together?
That's a good point. But I've been in situations where they've been terrible relationships where they've almost ended in marriage, or I'm going to say ended in marriage, but moved on to marriage, right? But those things happen all the time.
Oh yeah.
Obviously.
You know what the bigger change, based on my work has been as far as my views? It's not about my marriage so much. It's warped my view of what like a regular household income would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
In what way? Can you be more specific?
Yeah. The people that can afford lawyers are the people that have, these like top tier jobs. They make 6 figures.
Right.
And they've got the lake house and the boat and everything. And you see it day after day after day, and you start thinking that's what's normal. It's easy to forget that most people can't afford a lawyer. Most people don't have that lake house.
Right. That's very right, man. Because, if I were to need a lawyer, I would have to go to family, and that's the only way I could get one, because I would never be able to afford it. I'm one of those people that I couldn't. If I got married and had a divorce, she might get you, and I'd be screwed, right?
Yeah, you're kind of out of luck.
Okay, let's move on to. I want you to tell us about your education relating to being a lawyer and your articling experience.
Sure. 7 years of school after high school.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to get a degree in something right first.
Yeah. So my first degree is in commerce.
Okay.
And then it's a 3-year law school stint. And
right.
then a year of articling you touched on.
Were you pretty good with school, or was that a thing you had to worry about?
I was always an excellent student.
Awesome.
Until I hit law school.
Really?
And it was just so much more work, and I never learned those proper studying habits or anything like that.
But you made it through no problem.
Sink or swim, right?
Worked hard, right? So you would have to work hard, right?
Yeah, and then a year of articling, as you said.
Where did you article?
I articled in Melville, Saskatchewan,
nice.
Small town down by Yorkton.
That's an awesome place. I've been there. I don't know if it's awesome, but it's a place.
It's a place. Not too much going on.
Okay.
But, it was fine.
Cool. We might get back to Melville later.
Sure.
But what's the most interesting case that you may have had, if you can talk about it at all? I'm not sure how that works really, but.
It's not going to be interesting to most people, but my personal, what I think is the most interesting case, it had to do with a person that he had some disabilities. He wasn't able to make financial choices for himself, and his family left him a substantial sum of money, and he wanted control of the money.
Right.
and it was kind of a battle over whether or not he was capable of making those choices for himself.
Okay, so was he in the end deemed, fit to take that cash?
We got him a bit of a payout. It sort of was a meeting in the middle situation.
Interesting.
Got him a bit of a payout, and then the larger amount stayed in trust for him, and I think someone in his family was looking after him.
Well, good. Well, I mean, that is interesting. Cool, man.
Yeah,
right on. Yeah, cool. So tell me something else that you do.
Sure. I am constantly singing.
That's good.
Constantly, yeah. Ever since I was a kid, I love to sing.
What's your favorite song to sing?
My favorite, it's a Simon and Garfunkel song.
Okay,
it's
which
called
one?
A Poem on the Underground Wall.
I don't recognize that name. But...
Oh yeah, it's kind of, I think it's kind of obscure.
Okay.
It was inspired when they did an album cover in a subway.
Okay.
And in the background of this picture is a little advertisement, and somebody had scrawled the F word on that advertisement.
Oh,
so
geez.
they had to reshoot the whole thing, right?
Holy smokes.
But they took this picture and they wrote a whole poem about who it was that wrote that on the advertisement and what was going through their head when they did it.
Mm-hmm.
And they wrote this beautiful song around this poem that they wrote.
Great. Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah, great song.
Interesting. I just have a, kind of a random question here. Why do you think humans, birds, and whales sing?
To get laid?
It's definitely possible, yeah, for sure. Right?
That's why, yeah. Well, and it makes people happy. I think it's an expression of joy in a sense.
Absolutely. Do you feel that birds and whales would be feeling joy, or is it a more form of communication than anything?
I think whales communicate.
Right.
I think birds, it's mating calls.
I think you're absolutely right.
Find some nookie.
I completely agree with you. Okay, let's go on to one more thing that you do.
Sure. I share a car with my wife.
Right.
And that's because I totaled my car last year.
What happened?
It was the night before Halloween, and I was driving from Melville back to Saskatoon to spend Halloween with my family, and a damn deer ran onto the road, ran out in front of me.
Shoot.
Yeah.
So you totaled your car.
Oh, yeah, I smoked the deer. I hit it real good.
Yeah.
And, it's the first time I ever totaled a car, first time I hit a deer.
Did the airbags pop out?
You know what? They didn't.
I mean, that's lucky.
They didn't, but the whole front end was, just smashed in. The deer died.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, geez.
Not so fun.
Yeah, so now that you're sharing a car with your wife, what are the economics of the situation? Are you saving money?
Probably.
Yes.
We probably are.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we're not making 2 car payments. We're buying less gas.
Is it worth it? You're saving a little bit of money when you're sharing a car.
You lose a bit of freedom, don't you?
Right.
Yeah, she dropped me off here tonight, actually.
So did she?
Barring something, if the interview ended right now, I'd have to walk home.
Oh, shoot. I'll give you a ride.
Yeah. But no, I really like it. It gives us a little more time to hang out.
Are you going to get a new car, do you think, in the future?
I should.
You should?
Yeah.
Should, but you're not sure you're going to?
I don't have plans on it right now.
Right,
But,
okay. Well, that's fine. What is your dream car if you were to get one?
Probably something... Oh, that's such a good question. I used to drive a motorcycle.
Right.
And I would love to do that again.
Okay, that's fair. You like motorcycles. I can see that being a cool thing to do.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But I kind of promised my mom I never would. Our neighbor, horrible story. He gets hit by a car when he's on a motorcycle. Not his fault at all, but it just destroyed his life.
Right.
Yeah.
I can see.
Yeah,
being issues.
They're just dangerous. But man, they're fun though.
I bet they are. Let's go to one more thing that you do.
Sure. I play Dungeons and Dragons. I play it weekly.
Okay, I've heard of Dungeons and Dragons, seen it around. I've never played it. I've never watched the movies or any. There's a movie about it, right?
They're making one.
Okay. Okay. So just simply put, what is Dungeons and Dragons?
Okay. Dungeons and Dragons, I would describe it as a collective storytelling game.
Okay.
So you've got one person that's going to run the game for however many players are at the group. They make characters that develop throughout the course of the game.
Okay.
And you make decisions by saying you're going to do something and then rolling a die to see how it turns out.
So is it popular?
Very, yeah,
Very popular.
yeah, and I think it's only getting more popular lately.
Okay.
Especially with this pandemic that we're going through.
So why would an individual need to get into Dungeons and Dragons? Do you think? You think it's a good thing to get into?
I highly recommend it.
You do, right?
I do. I think it's a great way to just turn the world off for a little while. You know, like some people work out or whatever. I think it's a great little escape.
It's like exercising your storytelling ability, right?
Oh, yeah.
And like the better you're at it, the more chance you have to win. Is that right? Or
well, yeah, I suppose there's not really winning or losing.
There isn't. Okay, I didn't know that. That's a good.
You're winning
good thing
if
you
you're
said
having
that.
a good time.
Right. Okay. Cool. So there's no definite winner at the end of the game.
No. It's kind of it's more cooperative than that. It's someone has created this little world, and you are creating and piloting a character that's within this world.
That's
and
cool.
You go on adventures with your little group of other characters.
Are there Dungeons and Dragons video games? There must be. There must be
That's
video.
a good question. I think there's games based on it.
Okay.
I don't know if they actually have
The entire thing.
Yeah.
Like, cause they have like role playing games and stuff where they have big, like lands. Like,
oh yeah,
great,
absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure they could make a game like that, right?
It's a great parallel. That's essentially what it is. It's you take a game like that and you just put it onto a tabletop.
Cool.
And you tell the story along with all your friends.
Neat.
Yeah.
That's neat. Okay, tell me one more thing that you do.
Sure. I rent an apartment. I love it. It's right next to a grocery store, and that's why I love it.
Okay, tell me about why you love living so close to a grocery store.
Sure. The bane of my apartment living back, at my last place was that my fridge was always full of leftovers, or I had to worry about food waste. Now I get to go to the grocery store every day. There's nothing in my fridge. I just go and buy what I need the night of, and then I bring it home and cook it. So everything is fresh.
Ready for you whenever you need it.
Isn't it
Just
great?
right out your door.
Yeah, I just love it.
Well, so you said you lived in Melville.
I did.
Did you live in an apartment in Melville?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another apartment in Melville. So what's the difference between living in Melville and living in Saskatoon, a larger community?
A few notable differences. There's a lot more going on in Saskatoon.
Okay.
Both in terms of how busy everything is, but also in terms of just activities and things that are available to you. Saskatoon has all these festivals. We've got all these restaurants.
Sure. Yeah.
We've got all these amenities. Pools and courts and fields and things like that.
Right. Would you prefer living in Melville or Saskatoon?
I'm a Saskatoon boy.
Yeah.
At
Okay.
heart. Yeah.
Okay. I'm from a small town as well, and I'd prefer living in the cities.
Oh yeah. So you can relate.
I can relate. Yeah, I'm from Kamsack, which isn't far from Melville.
Yeah.
So
Very close,
a little smaller in Melville, but I think by a few hundred people, but pretty much the same. What's the best and worst thing about living in an apartment?
The best thing I gotta say is probably no worries about like shoveling. If there's anything wrong with your unit, someone can come fix it for
That's
you.
Right.
Isn't
Very
that great?
Good. What about the worst thing?
Oh, the privacy.
Okay, yeah.
Well, and then maybe that's because I'm a singer, right?
You don't want anybody hearing you sing, I guess.
Yeah, I'll piss off all my neighbors.
Oh well, everybody makes noise. All right. Yeah, that's good. Well, that's a lot of things that you do, and
that's what I do, Danny.
Awesome, James. Thank you. Let's move on to your first question.
Sure, I got one for you here.
Okay.
I'd love to hear from you a fond memory that you have.
Yeah, right. I was thinking about this, like all the memories I have in my life, and I just remember being a little kid and going to my grandparents' farm, and going into their silo or Quonset or shed or whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
And they had like a giant pile of grain, just sitting on the ground in this Quonset, and me and my brothers and my sister, we went and we had a ton of fun, and we played in the grain, and I mean, just being in that Quonset and like in that yard near the barn, near the old house where my grandparents lived. This is where my mom grew up. My grandparents were farmers, so we would go out there every now and then. And in particular. I mean, there's other instances which I couldn't mention, but like playing in the grain and getting crap from my grandma saying, "That's not our grain,"
oh, yeah.
Or there's mice in that grain, which is more valid. But I mean, that specific memory. I was a kid. I was really 4 or 5, but I remember just being really happy. And all my family was there, and it was just a good memory to have. Like,
can I ask you a question about it?
Yeah, for sure.
Have you ever run up a sand dune before?
Yes.
Is it similar?
Well, actually, I bet you it's harder to run in grain.
Oh yeah.
Sand is more I think there's more friction, and you could run up higher, run up faster. It would be similar, but in my opinion, it would be harder to run up grain.
Oh yeah.
But it would be similar to that for sure. Anyway, other than that, I mean, I have tons of memories from childhood with friends and family and like other experiences. But good old grandma and grandpa and mom and dad and my brothers and sister and cousins and things like that when I was a kid was something special.
Close to your heart.
That's right.
Yeah,
so
I like that.
There you go. That's my fond memory.
That's a great memory.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, cool. I'll ask you another question.
Sure.
What don't you do?
What don't I do? Let's look at what I wrote.
Right.
What don't I do? I don't go to bed on time. Oh yeah, I haven't gone to bed since I was a teenager.
Are you always tired?
Yes.
You are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think you might accomplish more if you were on a consistent sleep schedule?
Definitely.
You would?
Definitely I would, yeah.
So, what's stopping you from sleeping properly and going to bed, I don't want you to tell me why you don't do it, but why do you think it started when you were a teenager?
I think it started with, teen rebellion.
Teen rebellion, wanting to stay up
teen
late,
rebellion, yeah,
hanging out with your friends,
sure,
partying.
Well, and society says it's time to go to bed. Well, I don't
oh,
need to
so
listen to that.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
So it just kind of fell into your 20s and then into your late 20s.
It's just turned into this horrible habit now.
Jeez.
Where, it's the end of the day. It's 12:30 at night, and I know I should have gone to bed an hour ago, and I think, well, I don't really. There's still some day left. I still have things I want to do tonight.
Well, right. Do you have to drink a lot of caffeine because of this issue?
Yeah, I don't drink any caffeine.
Good for you. But
thank you, yeah.
You might not be quite as tired if you had a couple of Monsters a day, right? But honest to God, you wouldn't be. But yeah, caffeine's not necessarily the best way to go.
I gotta get a coffee or something. It was fine when I was in my early 20s. I could get up and do a day on 4 hours of sleep.
It's not quite the same when you get older. That's right. As time goes by, it gets more difficult for everybody. What else don't you do?
I don't buy clothes for myself. Anyway.
Right.
Everything that I own, everything I wear has been gifted to me.
Considering everything is a gift, what would you call your style?
I don't have style.
You don't have style? That's too bad.
My style is whatever my sisters buy for me.
So that's what I mean.
Today,
what would their style be? What would you call it?
Teen, I guess. I don't know.
It's kind of grunge. It's almost like Kurt Cobain or something.
Yeah.
Right? What's the nicest clothes you've ever been gifted?
Oh, suits.
Suits. You've been gifted real suits?
I have been, yeah.
Jeez.
When I got my articling position in Melville there, my parents gifted me 2 suits.
Cool.
Yeah.
Were they high quality?
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I wore them every day.
Are you going to start buying your own clothes?
I have to. You know what the problem of being gifted clothes is?
What is it?
It largely depends on when your gifting periods are.
For
me, it's Christmas and my birthday.
Right.
Both happen to be in December. So I have...
Don't get a lot of summer clothes.
I got like 12 sweaters.
I see.
And I don't have a pair of sunglasses.
Well, I have a solution. What about high-end second-hand clothing? It's really cheap, and it's very nice. Okay. This shirt was $3. Is
that right?
That's right. I mean, Plato's Closet.
Plato's Closet?
That's a plug. But I mean, Plato's
sponsoring you?
No, well, actually the director once asked me that same question because I talk about them all the time, and I wear their clothes all the time. Those are the only clothes I wear. I don't buy new clothes anymore.
Oh yeah.
And I'll get gifted as well. But when I need something, I'll go to Plato's Closet. I'll find anything I need. So that's why.
$3 shirt. I mean, that's.
Well, it was clearance, right? Yeah. We can't take it back. But I mean, you don't want to. Tell me one other thing that you don't do.
I don't eat breakfast.
You don't eat breakfast. Okay.
Probably an offshoot of me not going to bed on time.
That's got to have something to do with it. Do you eat brunch?
Yeah, if I'm going for brunch, I'll eat brunch.
But you don't.
On a typical day, I don't eat until maybe 12:30.
So, yeah, okay, I was just going to ask you, lunch is your first meal.
Yeah, generally.
Do you get hungry in the morning at all?
Never.
Never, okay.
Never. You know, I used to. That's back teen rebellion. I haven't eaten breakfast since I was a teenager. Back then, I used to get hungry, and I think I'm just so used to it now.
Yeah.
15 years later.
I know. I was in that kind of... I was doing the same thing, I wasn't eating breakfast, but every day I drink coffee to wake me up, and I had something to, drink, but even now I don't eat a ton for breakfast, but fruit or something usually.
Oh yeah.
But I understand why how you could go that way, because I've done it before. Mm-hmm. Similar. Have you always been this way, or is it something that you've learned?
Yeah, years and years.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. It's probably a bad habit at this point.
Are there any benefits to one's health for not eating breakfast?
I have heard that you should take all of your eating in a day and kind of combine it into a window of whatever it might be, 10 hours.
Okay.
Apparently 8 hours is better.
And because you stay up till midnight, you're probably eating at midnight. So you have to have at lunch and then at midnight, right?
So what I should be doing is like first meal at 12 and the last meal at 8.
Yeah, right. That would make.
But you're right. I do eat way past that, and it's also
probably another issue that comes.
That's is
right.
Not good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about one more thing that you don't do.
Sure. I don't have a tattoo.
Right. Okay. How do you think cultural perceptions of tattoos have changed over the years?
Oh, it's far more common now, right? It's way more accepted.
I agree.
I think I would wager more people have tattoos than don't at this point.
Okay.
That being said, I'm not against it by any means. I know there's still some people that see tattoos as low class or rough and tumble.
I've heard that kind of that thought, and for me, it's like you said, it's so much more accepted. I have no issue with tattoos, but I would never get one. It was just not something I would do.
Oh yeah.
But
I can't think of anything that I would want permanently on me.
Good point.
But if I found something, I would get a tattoo.
Okay, interesting. What's the best and worst tattoo you've ever seen, if you can remember?
I remember the best. I was on a subway and I saw a guy who had a little mouse tattoo on the back of his hand.
Okay.
But the mouse was a little pirate captain.
Nice.
And it was hyper realistic.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know where he got it, but really cool tattoo.
How about the worst tattoo you've ever seen?
Oh, jeez. You ever go online and they've got these big lists of the worst, the 50 worst tattoos.
Right.
And it seems to always be people's kids.
Oh.
The tattoo artist doesn't know what they're doing, and it looks like a little gremlin.
They got that
I gotta say one of those.
They got that for their entire life, and it's not going to get much better. What are you going to do?
I think people do cool things with tattoos, though. I had a friend, and she used to go traveling.
Right.
Every time she went traveling, she would go to a tattoo shop wherever she went. She'd
Cool.
get a tattoo.
That's interesting.
So she's got, her
many tattoos.
Body sort of became like a little collection of travel memories in that sense.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you think tattoos, including face and hands, will ever be accepted into all facets of our society?
I think face tattoos. I'm not a fan of face tattoos, but it's like all these rappers nowadays, all these young guys coming up are getting all these face tattoos. It's crazy. So if they keep doing it and people keep following their influence, sure.
Well, Mike Tyson did. Mike Tyson, the big boss. He's got that big thing on his face.
Thing on his face.
But he was going through hard times. He said it. He's like, I gotta put something on me to make myself feel better. But I mean,
I would put it this way, Danny. I wouldn't tell Mike Tyson, at least to his face, that it's a bad tattoo.
That's right.
But It's not a good tattoo.
you have something on your face. Okay, cool. Well, let's go to your second question for me.
Sure. My second question for you, Danny. If an airline told you, hey, Danny, look, we'll fly you anywhere you want on our dime. It's not going to cost you a cent. Where do you pick?
Well, if they're just sending me one place, and this is the only place I can go,
yes,
and it's just for a holiday or whatever, relaxation and a vacation, I would likely go to Fiji. I've been to Fiji before on an island that was pretty cool, man, and like it was called Beachcomber Island, and you could walk around it in 10 minutes. That's how big it was. I spent 5-6 days on the island just having fun, sitting in the sun. They always had a great buffet and stuff, and like great meals, and it was, the weather was just paradise. Like an island that you may have seen similar to what the island I was on, only bigger. If you had seen the movie Castaway with Tom Hanks,
sure,
that island he was on, I could see that island from my island. I mean, it was that type of place, right? You know, turquoise waters and beautiful women. And so it was lots of fun, and like what else about that place? Yeah, and assuming I would only be able to fly one place, it would be Fiji. But if I were to be able to go elsewhere from there, I'd fly down to Australia, go to New Zealand, and then from there, if they said unlimited, sure. It's unlimited. So I mean, I would be traveling for the rest of my life. if I could.
Wouldn't that be the life?
Wouldn't it? It would be the life.
If only we had invested in Bitcoin or something.
And okay, so there's there's the band Weezer. Do you know the band Weezer?
Sure.
Okay, so how about the song "Island in the Sun"? I'm not going to sing it. Anyway, it's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
And they wrote it they released it pretty much the month or month before I was in Fiji, on an island in the sun. So every time I hear that song, it brings me back. And Weezer's my favorite band, and that's one of my favorite songs.
This is interesting. Is that one of your favorite songs because it reminds you of Fiji?
No, well, Weezer was my favorite band to begin with.
Oh, okay.
Then they came out with that song, which is really popular, and a lot of people like it, including me.
So it just worked out that way.
That's right, yeah. But that was my island in the sun, and that's where I would go if I had a plane to go on.
Right on.
Yeah, man. So I've got one more question for you, and it pertains to why you don't do the things you don't do. So let's start with go to bed on time.
Why don't I go to bed on time? I mentioned already. It's my little way of rebelling.
Right.
Against my own life, I guess. It's part of it's probably this like procrastination. I've always been one to procrastinate.
Okay.
Put things off way too long.
Yeah.
And I think I put off going to bed.
That's just one of the things you put off.
Yeah.
But you don't want your days to end, right? You want to continue with your day and not go to sleep.
Absolutely.
Are your days really all that good that you want to stay up that late and continue on with them?
I have an okay life.
That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that. I didn't want to hear bad things, honestly. Great. Yeah, okay, good. Do you drink? I asked you this already. Do you drink caffeine? And you said no.
Nope, never have.
Okay.
No, coffee. Well, my parents are just so, like 5-6 cups of coffee a day people, and I never wanted that for myself.
Right. So you just decided 100% no. So have you tasted coffee?
Yeah, I've had the occasional coffee.
I see. It's just
I'm not a fan. It's not a taste I developed.
Yeah, I drink coffee with milk. I used to put lots of sugar in it and stuff.
Oh, just sure,
to make it
double.
That's right. Yeah, they're triple. Right, yeah.
Make it bearable.
Okay, you mentioned that procrastination is something that might be a reason why you don't go to bed on time. So that's something that's plagued you in the past. Can you tell us a little bit about your procrastination?
Oh yeah, all my bad habits are coming out on this podcast.
That's okay.
Yeah, but why do today what you can put off to tomorrow?
Right.
I don't believe in that. I know it's a bad thing to do, but.
Do you put things off at work?
Probably more than I should.
That's the answer. That's good.
We'll see. I'm going back in tonight after this interview because I put something off a little too long and I have to go remedy that.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Working late. That's okay. You'll be up to midnight anyway.
Yeah.
Tell me, why you don't buy clothes for yourself without a good reason?
I wish I had a good answer for that. Up until very recently, I just worked part-time. I worked minimum wage jobs. I just never really could afford to go buy clothes.
Right.
And so whatever I happened to have was things people bought for me. And that basically became my entire wardrobe.
And you just continued on that way.
At this point, yeah.
Oh,
I think people are just happy there's an easy gift for James.
If I ever buy you a gift, it's going to be like pants or shirt.
Yeah. I could use a pair of shorts. I don't own one of those.
So you said you buy clothes for good reason, right? What's a good reason for buying clothes?
Well, for me right now, I am sweating every day, all day, because everything I own is built for winter.
That's right.
Yeah, so a good reason for buying clothes because weather permits it.
What clothes do you buy?
What clothes do I buy? Mostly socks. If I'm gonna buy anything. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
I'm kind of wearing fun socks today, a little bit.
Okay, I know you need something for summer. Go to Plato's Closet. Tons of stuff. Cool shorts, tees, whatever you need.
I could use it all.
Yeah, exactly. And they got like fashionable stuff. So, yeah. How do you feel about the summer heat we've had here?
Isn't it crazy?
Yes, it's crazy.
Oh, it's wild. I'm not built for the heat.
You like it cool,
right?
I
like a good 20-degree day with a wind too.
I see. Yeah. Cool, man. Let's go to why you don't eat breakfast.
Sure. At this point, I just don't feel hungry in the mornings.
Right.
Yeah, it's not something that bothers me anymore.
You mentioned that it's the diet as well, the 8 to 10 hour diet or whatever. Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, I read this somewhere, probably on the internet, and so who knows the truth behind it.
Right.
But I heard there are health benefits to taking all of your meals in a day in kind of a confined amount of time.
Okay.
So in this case, I try to eat everything within 10 hours.
How many meals do you have in 10 hours?
Well, probably 2.5 maybe.
2.5.
Yeah, 2 and some snacks.
You look thin? Is that the reason you're thin?
Yeah, that would be it.
That's it, eh? Okay.
I don't exercise enough to be thin.
So maybe that diet works. It certainly could. Where are we here? Let's. How much more time do you think not eating breakfast gives you to sleep in the morning?
Honestly, maybe 15 minutes.
Oh, not that much time.
What does it take to just grab an apple?
It would be that hard.
Realistically, I could eat it in the car on the way to work.
Okay. Cool. So why don't you get tattoos?
It would be nice to have. I heard from an old boss of mine that once you get one, you just feel compelled to
get more.
Fill yourself up.
Get more, yeah.
Yeah. And actually, I do have this picture of myself as like an old man, and I think it'd be kind of rad to have like big sleeve tattoos.
Did we jump to this, or I must have missed something? But what might be a situation that you would need to have to influence you to get a tattoo?
My cousin got a tattoo. He got his first tattoo when a friend of his died. And it was sort of a little memorial to his friend.
Right.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could see something like that.
What? Okay. You mentioned in here, you didn't say it, but you said you would get sleeve tattoos.
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you get sleeve tattoos?
Well, I feel like you get one, you gotta fill it in. In for a penny, in for a pound, right?
I see.
You ever been to a pool or something like that? You see an old guy and he takes off his shirt and his whole back is done up.
Would that be a problem for work, tattoos?
You know what? I think it would have maybe 10 or 15 years ago.
Not quite now.
But yeah, it's way more common now. And, especially unless you're getting them in really visible places, like your hands or your neck or something.
It's not an issue.
You can hide it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like I know a doctor, he has like sleeve tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
He has to wear sleeves over his tattoos, but I mean, he's still able to be a doctor.
Yeah, well, and I wear suits every day.
Right,
so
absolutely.
It'd be easy enough to hide it.
Might as well get them.
You know what I need for summer clothes, Danny? I need like a good summer suit.
Oh, a summer suit.
Yeah.
I don't really know what that is. I don't wear suits. I'm not too sure about that. I'll have to.
Maybe it's got big cuts down the sleeve side. I don't know. Let
maybe a mesh suit.
Yeah, a mesh suit. That's what I need.
Okay, well, cool, man. You answered all my questions very well. I believe you have one more for me.
I've got one more for you. Let's find it.
Yeah, I have to find mine as well. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I like this question. I was proud of this question. Danny, I'd love to hear, what's the best advice that you've ever received?
I had to really think about this one. And it wasn't necessarily advice. It was just something somebody said about me that made me feel like I should do that in the future more often.
Sure.
And what it was, he says to me, Danny, you're always living, you're always loving, and you're laughing. I used to love to party and have fun and, be with the girls and, have a good time. But I was friends with everybody. And I never really felt that way about myself until he said that to me. And I was thinking, that's pretty cool. Thanks, man. This is Dallas R. from Kamsack. He's just this, rough and tough guy. And he came up to me one day. We weren't friends or anything. He said that to me. And I was like, cool, and I thought about it, and I actually wrote a song about it, like when with my buddy Bob D. We rocked it out one night, recorded the song, living, loving, laughing, while we were living, loving, and laughing. Having a lot of fun.
So you believe that now that he's pointed that out?
Well, he said that to me when I was young, maybe 19, 20 or whatever. It's been 20 years basically since then. And if I'm not living, loving, laughing, I try to remember that I could be and probably should be. Because once you are, you're happy, you're positive, you're optimistic, things are going well. Sure. Other people are happier around you. I wish more people would say things such as this to each other. People's perceptions of themselves would likely be much more optimistic and positive.
It's funny you say that. I can remember a compliment I received when I was about 8 years old.
Okay, what was it?
Yeah, a girl I liked told me that everything that I eat, I make it look delicious.
There you go. Do you still do that? Do you know? Or?
Oh yeah. When I'm eating in public, I just dive into things now.
That's awesome, James. Yeah, I don't know. With that advice, I mean, just hearing those words about myself, it made me very happy and confident in myself and the things I did with others, and I was perceived that way. So it influenced me to become a person that acts that way as much as he can.
Isn't that funny? Just a couple words that can change your life.
Exactly. Yeah. That was a great question, by the way. I love that question.
Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome, James. Well, that's been the episode. So how did you find it? So, how did you find the questions and the answers and everything?
That was great. It's great hearing more about you.
Yeah,
Your childhood memory. That was lovely.
And it was nice to have you on the show, James. Thanks for being here. And maybe in the future you could come back and tell us more about being a lawyer and everything.
Sure, when I'm good at it.
That's right. And to everybody out there in my timeline, it's been fun. I'm your host, Daniel Thomas. Until it's your time, goodbye.